Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and I had a few questions regarding all the Nurgle editions and how they affect the Warriors of Chaos and the Beastmen. So we're going to talk about that today as it's the final video before the review drops tomorrow. There's been a lot of content, there's been a lot of additions, there's a few bugs for the Warriors of Chaos that we do need to talk about, which is rather unfortunate, but Creative Assembly have been made aware from early on into the early access period, so hopefully they will be fixed either for launch or a hotfix that normally comes out shortly after. Other than that, yeah, let's talk about all the changes here, because the Warriors of Chaos and the Beastmen have been ending up as the true winners of Total War Warhammer 3 for all the content that they've been getting. So the first thing you can see construction-wise is that the Pestigors are available to you here. It's actually quite nice to see them there, as that means that you'll be able to get a Shock Trooper with Vanguard right into your armies, which is pretty damn good. We naturally have to talk about the warband system because that's how you get a bunch of units up and running, and yeah, same as always, but with a few new additions because of Nurgle. Bile Trolls, for example, can be upgraded from Chaos Trolls, so you can actually go from Chaos Troll to Nurgle Troll, which is pretty cool, and Chaos Knights of Nurgle can be upgraded to the Rot Knights. Again, proving a speculation that I had a long time ago. This was during the release of the Warriors of Chaos in Champions of Chaos, that, yeah, those places up top were very blank for a reason. I'm expecting Chosen to turn into Putrid Blight Kings in the future, and maybe Chaos Spawn turning into the gigantic Chaos Spawn should we ever get one. I'm feeling very, very optimistic, especially as these DLCs are filling up the Warriors of Chaos quite heavily, adding into the blank spots and showcasing that, yeah, they are gonna get a lot of love. The next DLCs, if we end up getting one for Khorne and Slaanesh, should do the same for the others. My only real issue here is that the Plague Ogres are not found in the standard system. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But as I do kind of expect that we will get Chaos Ogres in the future, as they were considered a core unit back in the day and still are available in Warhammer the Old World, interestingly enough, it would be nice to see Chaos Ogres undivided, then going into the different alignments, Chaos Ogres of Nurgle, and then just upgrading to Plague Ogres as a final upgrade. The main thing here is because I know a lot of people wanted the Pusgoyles, which were a original End Times unit that was never released for the End Times, but moved into Age of Sigmar. I do think that that's kind of dead with the introduction of the Rot Knights, and I think that's perfectly fine. The Rot Knights add in quite a nice amount of anti-large and decent speed for Nurgle as a faction overall, including the Warriors of Chaos. Now, you might be wondering about Plague Ogres and the Toad Dragons. These are mortal creatures, by the way, obviously. So you can get them as gifts of Nurgle, meaning that you can pick them up with Archaon, Kolek, and Sigvald 2 in those senses. I mean, you can pick up the other troops anyway with the warband system, but you know what I mean. And I don't know what to think about this. They really shouldn't really be counting as gifts, considering that they are mortal, and generally demons have been the gifts themselves. This does mean that you're not going to be able to doomstack the Toad Dragons in the Warriors of Chaos. I imagine a modder will quickly fix that. But yeah, when it comes to Toad Dragons, they're not demons. I know some people do think they are, but they can be found in the wild. They're just obviously very, very rare. It would have been nice to be able to have as many as I wanted in an army. Either way, you can still pick them up and you have quite a decent amount of fun with them. The Plague Ogres themselves are quite strong, giving you some anti-large, and you're not going to be using Plague Ogres as a full stack anyway, mostly because, you know, you want the Chaos Warriors in, you want to use the Rot Knights, you want to use your cavalry. The Warriors of Chaos do have a very varied roster, which allows you to, well, have quite a bit of fun with that. While I have complained about it, I will say at least it incentivizes you to use the gifts more, because I've gone full campaigns just completely forgetting that it's there. The demons are nice to have, but in most cases I'm just fielding loads of Warriors of Chaos. The roster for the Warriors of Chaos is looking more and more complete with each passing update that centers around Chaos, and as you can see, you do also get access to the Lord and the new generic hero. Keep in mind, I do have to state here that currently there's a bug. I have made it aware to Creative Assembly very early on that the Chaos Lord of Nurgle, the melee version, is not able to turn into a Demon Prince for some reason. I tested this with Tamokan. However, let's be honest, in most cases you'll be focusing around the Spellcasters, because the Spellcasters also get the Rot beast mounts, and, well, they're spellcasters. They can be a little bit weaker than the Chaos Lord, but they're still very heavily armored, they're still kitted out to the nines, and you can start throwing spells out, so overall it's pretty good. The roster, again, is just great. It is feeling really, really full. I can't wait to see for the next few DLCs to finally see the Chaos Warriors fully completed, because, yeah, you know, they're a fun faction. I like the Warriors of Chaos, and it's nice to see them be such a drastic change. It's taking multiple DLCs, let's be honest there, but comparing that to Warhammer 1, it's apples and oranges, two completely different styles and two completely different rosters. Alright, so the Plague rework has also come into effect for Festus. You'll have access to the brand new system. The way that you pick up infections is obviously more or less the same. Get into combat. There's a lot of ways that you'll be able to pick it up, so don't you worry. It's just you are not going to get as many plagues out there, which is fair. You know, this is a faction of Warriors of Chaos. You're going to be doing damage more than actually spending your time plaguing stuff. However, I did say that there was a major issue, which I have reported a few times to Creative Assembly. I know some other content creators have too, so I don't imagine that this will be like this for long. It's just when you cycle through, you'll see these little white boxes, and that basically means that those areas are just closed off. That means that even if those symptoms should naturally be open to you, it's currently bugged. I wouldn't worry too much. That could be fixed by the time that this goes live, or with a hotfix going shortly after. I mean, in most cases, you're not going to be playing Festus now anyway. You're going to be playing Tamokon to test out all the new stuff. It's weird. It's a very odd bug. I wouldn't worry, because like I've said, Creative Assembly are aware, so don't panic. It's just wait a while before you start playing as Festus, or check when the DLC goes live, because that could be fixed by then if we've been lucky. If not, first hotfix is usually about a week or a little bit after a week. So yeah, bugs like this tend to happen because, I mean, it's a Total War game, and yeah, it happens often. Alright, and finally we have to talk about the Beastmen, because they get a little bit of attention here, not as much as they did, obviously, in Shadows of Change, but they'll have access to the Pestigores, which will be separated. I personally would love to see them grouped up with the Zangors and then the eventual Khorngors and Slangors. This is on the purpose of spending dread. As you can see, the standard Gors are all together, all the Centigors, including the Centigors of Tzeentch, are all together. It'll just be a bit better, because dread does get fairly expensive. I wouldn't say it's too much of an issue now, because it's just literally Zangors and Pestigors, but yeah, for the future, definitely needs to be looked at, because joining them up is very important. Same thing with the interestingly enough, the Minotaurs. The Minotaurs need to be mixed up together just for the purpose of dread, because really, it's for the single player stuff. It really doesn't hurt anyone. Now, the Pestigores can be found in the same building as the Gors. I imagine that we're actually going to get that split up eventually, where the Pestigores will be moved into a tier 4 building, and we'll get all the God-touched Gors in tier 3, because the God-touched Gors are better than the standard Gors, even though they've been nerfed since Shadows of Change. They're still very, very powerful. They're very good at what they do, and it just makes sense to have them in their own separation for God-touched stuff. Personally, it would be better if all the Hordes had access to God-touched buildings, where they could be able to get certain bonuses and so on, but no idea if that's something that Games Workshop would even allow, because they're the ones that jump in here and say, no, bad, you can't do that, no beaks. The Beastmen roster is looking pretty good. I do imagine there's some stuff that we'll see in the future, in a future Khorne and Slaanesh DLC, that might pad it up, not just the Khorngors, Slangors, and Khornators. We know that those eventually will be moved over. It's been confirmed by a Creative Assembly dev, but it would be nice if we could see spellcasters with a specific laws too. Wasn't something on the tabletop, but it would just be nice to have that, to kind of theme your armies a little bit more. But yeah, the Beastmen are perfectly fine. With all that being said, that's everything that's changed there. There's not a lot. They didn't have a big monster. It's kind of weird that they didn't get access to the Plague Toads, to be honest, because those are monsters that you would imagine the Beastmen to use. Still no word on the Cockatrice either, but time will tell. With that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. There will be a stream today over on twitch.tv/thegreatbookofgrudges if you want to pop by and say hi, and tomorrow will be the review. And then finally I can rest. So, yeah, have a great day, guys. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.